Okay guys, short and sweet, here it is. Spyderco Para Military2 model C81. This is Nutnfancy. This is going to be my shorter video review on the Para Military2. A knife I'm going to call yet another Hall of Famer from our friends at Spyderco. You are looking at the law enforcement military catalog. I think it's called the Ops Focus catalog. And we see in front of us the 4 production versions currently being offered, not counting sprint run knives of the Para Military2. You can choose, as of now, the early portion of 2012, black G10 in both satin or DLC coated blades, or the awesome Digicam blades in also satin and DLC coatings. That's the Para Military2. For a number of reasons, its predecessor, the regular Para Military, did not connect with me. I just was not digging it. I didn't want to spend money on it. The Para Military2, however, features several key improvements I'm going to go over right now, which make it, to me, an entirely different knife. Say hello to the Digicam black bladed version, wicked sick, and its brother, satin version. Beautiful, beautiful knife. I'm going to start off actually at the blade. The Para Military2 actually features a longer blade, is my understanding, than the original. Still full flat ground, modified clip point. Look at that perfect relief edge on that. Perfect. Gradual enough where it's going to be easy enough to resharpen, and out of box it just comes very awesomely sharp. Great job, Spyderco. The blade shape is perfect for all types of philosophies of use, coupled with a almost perfect handle and weight. I will say tactical, everyday carry, food preparation, and because of the variations that Spyderco usually does, a collectible. Back to the blade shape though, the fine tip might cause you problems if you abuse it. But on the upside, it'll make digging out splinters, opening packages, and even that food preparation philosophy of use so much easier. I love the blade shape. I wouldn't change a thing about it. The Para Military2 also features a larger deployment hole, perfect for gloved hands. 14 millimeters is what Spyderco is telling us. I didn't break out my ruler, but I'll take their word for it. I like this DLC coated version. Diamond-like carbon. It is long wearing. I didn't test it in this specific blade, but I have in others. It beats the heck out of Teflon. Awesome. Here's a autographing from Eric and Sal on the other side, and yes, this is 100% made in the United States. Mother Earth blade. Well done, Spyderco. Another improvement over their predecessor Para Military is the jimping. Sometimes I call it jimping. It is absolute perfection in the Para Military2. The finger choils were changed, and I think the jimping, I'm just kidding around, the jimping was sharpened. You can really lock in to the Para Military2. If we talk about that tactical philosophy of use, that's extremely important because it has a very valid and functional traction plan, as I've always called it. The steel is CPM S30V. Okay, it is a homogeneous fine grain structure steel. The manufacturer, I'm talking CPM specifically, says because of its homogeneity, I still don't know if I'm saying that word right, features better wear resistance, toughness, and for the manufacturer has excellent grindability and polishability. Not so important in this version. I find it has excellent rust resistance as a user, and it can take a wicked sharp edge when I do resharpen it, which takes a little bit more effort, not super hard though. But really a fine, excellent steel for this knife, and for the price you're paying, totally worth it. Onto the handle. This is my favorite, of course, the digital camo. It's just cool looking. It's functional. If you're in a law enforcement guy or serving in a theater war as a soldier, you'll like it too. Or if you're just like me, you like tactical things, you'll love it. Medium to high traction G10 are the handle scales. Super high traction scales are found in some cold steel models. Those are so grippy, they'll pretty much tear your pants up. You won't have that problem with the Para Military2. Positionable to all 4 corners is the clip now. Standard Spyderco hourglass shape attached with 3 screws. This is one I carried for months in my everyday carry roll. I find it rides pretty deep in pocket. You will have this section right here protruding. My favorite clip of all time as of now is the tension wire clip that Spyderco features on some other models. Nice rounding of the handle scales. No sharp corners. The ergonomics overall with the handle changes in the Paramilitary 2 are excellent. They lengthened the handle and they got rid of the bulbous portion here at the end. It makes it comfortable in forward grips, also in reverse grips if you want to go that way. Just a great handle. And that'll take us to the compression lock. Note how it locks up. Huge stop pin there. Compression lock slips onto that shelf and it really locks the blade in tight. There's no movement up and down, side to side. Lockup is perfection, as is the deployment speed. Several ways to get the Spyderco Para Military2 out of the handle. I usually prefer a conventional deployment for training consistency with my other knives. However, if you want, you can shake it out. Didn't do a great job there for that type of deployment, or you can just use your compression lock. Deploy it that way as well. Awesome handle. Larger lanyard hole as well, so 550 paracord lanyard like I'm featuring right here will slip in readily. Pillar construction. Big old flat flush mounted screws. You can take the knife apart if you have to, and if you ever had some loosening, you have some pivot screws that can tighten it up as well. A new bushing system inside the Paramilitary 2, phosphor bronze bushings, and that contributes to that wicked fast speed. And as a manufacturer, they say it's better because it's kind of self-adjusting. It exceeds the width of the blade just slightly and just makes this blade centering, which is, by the way, perfection, a reality. Handle retention, excellent. It's actually perfect. It's not too light and it's not too stiff where I can still shake it out of the handle, and we won't have any inadvertent cuts on our hands if we put it in some type of container and opens up on us. Value. I would say around $110 depending where you go. Could be less, could be more, and it is totally worth it. Another thing ergonomically I do want to mention in this short video is that they had the sharp transition on the regular Paramilitary has been milled off, and this whole section here has been redesigned for more comfort. So if you are one of those guys that likes to ride it tip down, for whatever reason, I call you crazy by the way, it's going to be more comfortable, so there's no sharp tang like we saw in the regular Paramilitary ripping your hand up. What a great knife. One thing I forgot to mention is look at the milling on those stainless steel liners. 3.8 ounces is the weight of the Paramilitary 2, and it is phenomenal. For a 4-inch blade with this sharpness and the piercing and cutting capability, that is an extremely lightweight, and you can thank that aggressive milling out of the liners. The improvements of jimping, the improvement on the handle, that is making it longer, getting rid of the bulbous portion here, softening this transition here, the milling out of the liners, and the outstanding jimping makes the Paramilitary 2 a Hall of Famer here in the Nutnfancy project. Highly recommended.